Hello, welcome back to Silver Thread Sewing. I'm Diane. This is Friday Sews. So I hope everyone's well. I want to say thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting the hashtag Friday Sews and for allowing all of us to join in under that hashtag and watch people who like to sew. If you're returning, thank you. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I don't get a lot done, and my channel is mostly about what not to do when you sew. So you'll see why in just a minute. So I know I was a little bit dramatic maybe, and when I put this was going to be my best make ever, but that's kind of what happened. So I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to go right into that, and I won't take much of your time. I have been in the sewing room off and on the last few weeks, but I hadn't really gotten anything done. I've been trying to spring clean the house a little bit and get started with all that, and it takes so much time. And then by the time you do that, you're so tired, all I can come down here and do is piddle. So I've just been piddling in the puddle, and this is what I've gotten made. This is it. So this dress is by French Poetry, and it is the Pleiades dress. That's what I think it's called. Pleiades. I have no idea. I have enough trouble with English, let alone French. But I decided I wanted to make the one with a collar, even though I don't normally do collars. And I did the front button placket, but I did the view that has the ruffle at the bottom. So this part here. The sleeves, I did 3/4 length and put a band at the bottom. Now, I would like to make the short sleeve one, and I'd like to make the one that does not have the buttons down the front again. This is not a new pattern, I'm sure. I don't really know when it was. I don't have a clue how to tell when it came out, but it was new to me. I've had it for a long time. I had it printed out. I just never stuck it together or made it. But I had seen somebody else had made it on YouTube, and I thought, oh, I love that dress. So I had this piece of rayon challis. This fabric came from Fabric Mart Fabrics eons ago. I've had it for a long, long time, but it's a beautiful quality. It's kind of got some weight to it. It's a little heavier than some. I don't think it's a poplin or anything. I think it's just a rayon challis. But I had right about 3 yards of it, but it had a single border. So let me get it. So I literally just have little scraps of this left, so it took all that I had. But it's a navy background, and it has the little small white polka dots. And I love navy and white. I love navy and white anything. Now, it did have the bottom border, the single border on it. And it looks like this. And it is just so pretty. Those beautiful flowers, the pinks, yellows, greens. And I just had been hanging on to this fabric, and I decided that I wanted to try this dress because this is the year of using what I have and not feeling so precious about fabrics or patterns that I never use them. That's over this year. So I'm going to say this probably is one of my most successful makes. It fits me well, very well, and it went together well. It's got a lot of steps and a lot of little things to do, but they were all simple steps, and I understood the pattern just fine. Got a lot of options. You can do just a stand-up collar. You can do, one version has the bow that ties, but I didn't have enough fabric for that if I'd wanted to, and I was just really eager to do a collar. And I got to tell you something, this collar is the best collar that I personally have ever done. And I marked my seam allowance. Sorry about shaking. I marked the seam allowance on it. I was so precise in sewing. I really took my time. Now, if I turn this around, you'll see that the underside of the collar right here has got just a little bit of the collar stand has got just a little bit of the floral fabric, because that's how little fabric I had left. So when I got to that part, I had to do that, but I made it so that the inside is all in the navy and white. Now, the same thing is true here at the bottom of the dress. I had just this little part on the side right here that I had to put into the border. It was the only way I could cut it out. So the border comes around, and then this is the side of the dress. And it just shows this little bit of floral on the side, but I don't mind that at all. I don't think it's noticeable. And even if it was, I'll just make it a design choice. So now all was going well. The dress was fitting me. I was so, as my friends in England would say, I was so chuffed with that collar. I was just floating around. I did a perfect collar. My collar's perfect. And everything was good. The back of the dress I thought looked really good. I'll be putting pictures, hopefully, of me wearing this in. But my almost tragedy came when it was time to do buttonholes. This pattern calls for 11 buttons down the front of this beautiful dress. And that was no problem. I had some little blue buttons that I thought looked dressy enough against the navy fabric. But I was not taking any chances. I decided that I was going to practice my buttonhole. I was going to, I put interfacing on the fabric, a scrap of the fabric, and folded it just like the button placket was, so it'd be the same amount of layers. I ran a new bobbin so I wouldn't run out making that many buttonholes. And I did a practice buttonhole, and it was perfect. It did just great. Well, I moved to the dress and started to do a buttonhole right here. And for whatever reason, my machine pulled that fabric down into the feed dogs and just made a mess. And I was devastated. I just sat there horrified. I didn't know what to do. So finally got everything brought out, and I thought, okay, it's not too bad. So I'm just going to try again. So I tried again, and it pulled the fabric so that the buttonhole was sideways. It was off center. It wasn't straight. And I didn't know what to do. I was so heartbroken. I should have started at the bottom. Next time I will. But I did do a practice one. Anyway, long story short, this fabric, it's really easy to make a run like and damage the fabric to where it's so delicate. So I have a place here on this placket that is just messy. It just looks messy. Now, I didn't wind up doing the buttonhole. I decided I wouldn't button it up that high anyway, and I just deserted that, but the damage was already done. But I did put a button right here at the top to match the others. And the collar, pretty much, you know, this part probably won't be seen very much, but it still, when it opens up, it's there. And I don't really know anything else I can do to fix that. I thought about taking like a little tiny piece of the polka dot part and trying to make a little patch with, what's that stuff called? Heat and bond. You can just take a little bit of that, and it makes this fabric like a patch, and I could just glue that onto the inside, that little messy bit. But then I thought, you know, it's probably going to show more than that does, so I'm not sure, but I love the dress, and I'm certainly going to wear it. But I was heartbroken about my buttonhole. So, oh, even my best laid plans. So this is definitely a channel about what not to do. Don't start your first buttonhole in a visible place. Start it way down yonder at the bottom, and yeah, it'll be a whole lot better. Trust me, you'll be a lot happier. But I don't know. All the rest of them were fine. I had no problem with any of the other buttonholes, and everything was just great. But I do love this dress. I'm so happy with it, and I wish you could feel it. It is just the most beautiful, soft, drapey rayon challis. Now, I've been trying to find some other places since Joanne is pretty much gone now, I think. I've been looking around for different fabric companies that you might could order online that's not so expensive. Fabric Mart is still the better value, and I like their fabrics just fine. I've not had any problems. I had one of their fabrics that faded real bad, but they replaced it, and that was all good. They've got great customer service. I've ordered a couple pieces from Cali Fabrics, and they have been very good quality fabrics, a little more expensive than Fabric Mart. And then I have been looking on the Zaloof Fabrics in New York, and they have some beautiful fabrics. They're way more expensive than I usually would pay. Like, most of theirs is $19.25 a yard, $19 a yard, $34 a yard. But I'm sure it's very good quality. But I am trying to figure out if I could order a piece or two from them. And at some point, maybe the next month or so, I'll try to order some and give you an opinion on the quality, because I'm sure it'll be good, but it is definitely more expensive. So I'll have to just see if I can order a yard or two to make something. But anyway, so I highly recommend the French Poetry Pleiades dress, and I highly recommend Rayon Chalet for the pattern, and I do love it. So yeah, so if anybody has any suggestions on maybe how to cover up that little messy spot right there where it's so visible, I'm definitely open for suggestions. But I hope everybody's well, and I hope you get to sew some if you want to. Remember, don't ever give up on sewing. As long as you sew, you'll never have time or money to get into any trouble. Just ask me how I know. Have a great weekend.